So the following clips that I'm going to show you are from a creators live over on YouTube the other day. And it was an almost 3-hour long live. And it was filled with nothing but misinformation and wild conspiracy theories. And I am doing a deep dive into that live. So look for that to come out later this week because I have to go back through all of my files, re-get all of the stuff that I've been using to debunk things, and I'm going to go through all of their false claims and debunk each one of those. But I wanted to play you some select clips from that. And what is very ironic is at the start of the live, this particular creator points out that she wants the conversations to be based in facts. She doesn't want anybody coming on there with conspiracy theories, and she doesn't want anybody saying anything graphic because think about the families. But yet, that's all the live was full of. Conspiracy theories, nothing rooted in fact, and graphic conversations about people being injured. So, here's the clips, and look forward to my video that's coming out later this week.
So state clearly if something is an opinion or speculation. Opinions are welcome. Misinformation is not. No graphic descriptions, please, for the respect for the families and the victims. And definitely, please, in this stream, no conspiracy, flooding, or derailment. We encourage here open discussion, critical thinking.
Bethany is parking her car and she's getting out of her car with a friend. If she's there all night, where is she coming from with a whole nother person in her car?
When Bethany texted Dylan and said, just come down here, she was at the other house down the street.
We see Bethany pull up. She parks. She pulls up right here. She gets out of the car. If she was close to this 1122 over at the Whites or over at someone else's house, why would she need a car?
They went to Boise, so maybe, do we know exactly what either of the Jacks were driving? I said, dude, I wouldn't put it past whoever this was to walk in the house, shoot them up while they all are asleep.
If she wasn't there, like, why lie? Just like, I was home alone, but it makes their story.
Well, you have to have an alibi.
Exactly.
She gave a phenomenal performance. I do want to say that, dude. She didn't care any other time. The other interrogation, she was ice cold. Bethany wasn't there, 1,000%. So he was running through there with 2 or 3 different weapons, knives, because he has that many hands. Like I said to Birdie last night, bro, if it was me, Casey, and Phoenix, we would kick Brian Koberger's ass. I wondered if they maybe locked her in there, or because what I think they were going to probably kill Dylan. And when Ethan walked in, like I said, they were getting ready to leave, or maybe, but it's weird because they said, let's get ready to go home, or whatever the fuck they said. So for one, if it was just Brian Koberger, hello, who would he be talking to? That's insane. It was 2 different male voices. Like I said, between 104 and 106, we see the 3 to 4 males in all black enter the home. The fact that there was gunshots fired that night, I almost wonder, like, was there a party that went wrong and someone got shot? So they were like, whatever, we're just going to make it look like this was, a bigger thing. And where are all the other weapons? I mean, they said there's multiple weapons. Where are those? Is that what Molly came to get in the middle of the night? You hear 2 different sets of footsteps and they did sound loud. So Ethan says, oh shit, I'm calling 911. But there's multiple pictures of Dylan with swords and knives that are way bigger than K-bars, dude. So
college is going to reopen this case, prove that Brian was never really a threat, that he never actually did it. He's going to get exonerated.
How did Dylan get her contact information?
And if you look, the concrete gets cleaner and cleaner. I mean, I really do think that Ethan got pushed off the balcony. Was a shot in the middle of the night between 2 and 3 before everything else. There's a point where she gets strangled. There is a shot in the middle of the night, though. And the guy, it sounded like a younger male, says, oh shit, like he didn't mean to shoot. But when you have no evidence, that's what really pisses me off. I've never seen anyone just get slammed like that and have no circumstantial, no nothing. I wanted to use this AI predictive programming shit so bad. Did they just say, heard that 2 other people were unalived and were like, fuck it, we need 4 to get Palantir off the ground or what? There's no pattern. There's no history. He has no fucking history of violence. He doesn't even get parking tickets and shit.
WSU was doing predictive profiling.
The hunter might have did some stabbing of his own after they were all dead. I still think Dylan might have given Kaylee a few jabs on her own, just because I've always heard their relationship was a little jealousy between Dylan and Kaylee.
He's talking to Kaylee or Maddie, and he's like, I think it was Kaylee, and he said, "Oh, you thought you was gonna turn something about you thought you were gonna turn this into a college whorehouse," and she said no, and he said, "I watched you."
Absolutely. I always thought that maybe I told Adam everything, is that Kaylee was leaving that morning and not going to come back.
They were all in the house, and I'm sure they all saw all 4 victims.
I agree.
I think everyone saw what happened.
I mean, nobody acted fucking surprised, dude. Was it a purge night? Did these motherfuckers really plan a purge? And I found other pictures that show a lot of blood on the roof. So was it not the balcony? Did Ethan try to jump out of a window and jump off the house and they pushed him before he could? You hear a woman being, strangled, and that's a very personal thing. She was screaming, "Get off of me." You hear gunshots, a car wreck, people literally, I can't confirm if it was Dylan 100%, but when the gun goes off or the car crashes, one of the two, it's between like probably 2:15 and 2:45. Most of this happens. Somebody screams, "Run for your life."
And another thing is, why have they been talking so nasty about Brian, knowing that he's not the one? Like, why are you doing that?
And they're not going to blame the real killers because we still don't know who it is.
There was at least a minimum that I heard of 6 weapon shots fired that night. So was there more people that passed away?
That's another thing I thought about, is I think they tore down that house because there was holes in the wall, if you know what I'm saying.
I think that they couldn't find the casings that they lost in the bullets, and that if somebody would have found them, it would have tied back to their weapon.
Yeah.
Fry sat down and did an interview, and he said he never went to the crime scene. Could somebody have been pushed over this balcony?
I swear that's what I think, Phoenix, because there was the other clip where you see 2 guys in black chasing someone or running down by the apartments or whatever. And like I said, there was weapon shots fired. Was Ethan running and that's how his legs got messed up? They shot him in the legs to try to keep him from running, to contain him. Like, well, why? Somebody asked me, why would you advocate for a murderer? It's like, okay, well, if there was evidence that he was guilty, then I would understand, but they can't produce anything. I believe the one who was supposed to be validating that he was with BK when he bought the K-bar, but supposedly the K-bar came from his professor. And it's like, why are we the ones doing this? First of all, I mean, honestly, why? I feel like if half of as much work as you and the other creators that have done on this case, Phoenix, that it would have already been solved. And I found out that there's an Amtrak in Moscow. So I started wondering, like, was it something to do with the film ring? Because you would have heard those weapons fired. You would have heard those screams. I mean, let alone you could hear someone being literally strangled in the dark, because when she gasped for air, it was so loud. There's no way nobody heard that. I mean,
did this happen on campus? Or was that just a slip? I mean,
well, it would make sense. There's no evidence
so many
of any
twists and
crime
turns
there.
in this case.
The crime scene was so clean that
That's why they had
it's transferring a body and then getting rid of the evidence of the trail of the whatever it was. The first time I heard about Hudson, I really wondered, like, did somebody fucking waterboard him? He was a swimmer, dude. It's like the irony, and he dies in 6 inches of water. There's more victims. That's what really gets me. There's way more victims than just 4 in this case. I mean, I personally, of all people, know that it can be very scary talking about stuff like this, because, if you bury something good enough, you're not going to want people like me, you, Birdie, Sammy, digging into stuff. So